The internet just exploded, and at the center of it all stands Latto, glowing under the spotlight but drowning in whispers that could destroy a home. It all started with one performance. Just one. The lights hit, the crowd screamed, and the world froze, because fans saw something they could not unsee. A baby bump. Not speculation. Not rumors. A bump so visible it sent social media spiraling into chaos. Within minutes, Twitter turned into a wildfire. Latto's pregnant with 21 Savage's baby? No way, she would never. But the timing, the looks, the chemistry that had been building for years, everything suddenly made perfect sense. The internet called it Latto's baby era, but behind closed doors, another woman was allegedly plotting revenge. Because according to the streets, 21 Savage's wife was not just angry, she was ready for war. And when the story broke, rumors claim she did not just confront it. She handled it. Allegedly, she had Latto jumped after the pregnancy news went viral. But now, that move might be backfiring in ways no one expected. Reports say 21 Savage is furious, threatening divorce, and insiders claim his wife is losing control behind the scenes, watching helplessly as her marriage plays out like a public tragedy. Meanwhile, Latto is scrambling to deny the pregnancy, allegedly photoshopping her pictures, while the industry watches this chaos like a movie premiere. What began as one viral concert has now twisted into one of the wildest scandals of the year. And the plot thickens? Because now we finally know why Latto suddenly grew bold enough to admit her secret, that she and 21 Savage were in a relationship. On stage, she said it proudly, "Thank you to my man, and my man." The crowd gasped. The industry froze. For years, fans had guessed something was happening between them. Everyone called it delusion. But last week, Latto herself confirmed everything, calling 21 her husband. And here's where it gets dark, because some fans claim that moment was staged. That Latto herself called TMZ, set up the scene, and decided to go public because she could no longer hide it. But why now? Why risk everything after years of secrecy? Well, what if she is pregnant? Suddenly, it all clicks. The interviews, the public confessions, the quiet confidence, maybe this was never about fame. Maybe it was about control. About letting the world know that she is not the side chick anymore. Fans first noticed the bump in a Tokyo performance. Some thought it was bloating, others joked about ramen or hormones. But then, another video leaked, this time with saucy Santana. And that was the moment the internet lost it. Because Latto was not just performing, she was glowing. She was holding her belly like a mother-to-be, and Santana's shocked reaction said it all. He even lifted her shirt slightly to check if it was real, and judging by her laughter, it definitely was. That was no fake belly. From there, everything unraveled fast. Every clip, every photo, every whisper painted the same picture, the picture of a woman no longer hiding her truth. So now, the question remains, was this love, or betrayal disguised as destiny? Because in a world where clout is currency, even love can be weaponized, and this, my friends, might be the most dangerous love story the music industry has ever seen. The internet already knows it, Latto is the side piece. And not just any side piece, she has been playing that role for a while. But the one thing she never wanted to be, the one nightmare she could not face, was being a pregnant side piece to a man who would not claim her. Because in this industry, being unclaimed means being clowned by the entire world. So maybe, just maybe, those fans were right when they said she called TMZ herself. Maybe this was not about exposure, maybe it was about control. About reclaiming the narrative before the internet shredded her alive. And let us not forget, she has always said she wanted to be married before becoming a mother. This is not new. In an interview with Cosmopolitan, she said, "I want to be a mom so bad. I think moms are superheroes. I will not feel like I have made it until I have my kids, my husband, my country house, my little family." She painted the picture of peace, of stability, of a traditional love story. She wanted the wedding ring, the vows, the white fence, not the baby mama label. She made that crystal clear. So when she called 21 her husband in that TMZ clip, it all started to make sense. Maybe she was not just speaking out of delusion, maybe she was manifesting the reality she desperately wanted to believe in. But here is where the story twists, because not everyone's buying it. After fans started screaming pregnancy, Latto jumped on Instagram with a mirror selfie, her stomach flat as ever, captioned, "I just ate too much wagyu and ramen." Cute. But no one's convinced. Because in the age of celebrity secrecy, denials mean nothing. Remember Halle Bailey? She gaslit the entire internet while she was 9 months pregnant, photoshopping her belly out and calling fans crazy for noticing the pregnancy nose, only to pop out a whole baby months later. So when Latto says, "not pregnant," people just roll their eyes. Because the evidence? It is right there. In the photos. In the angles. In her glow. And if that was not enough, insiders have been spilling everything. According to a source close to the situation, both Latto and 21 are happy and protective, but terrified of how the public will take it. Especially since the marriage situation keeps hovering over them like a curse. And when they say marriage situation, they are not talking about Latto's fantasies. They are talking about the fact that 21 Savage is allegedly already married to a woman named Kiana Joseph. Now, here's where things take a dark, almost cinematic turn. Some say Kiana was just a baby mama who turned into a temporary wife when 21 was detained by ICE years ago. Others claim it was a straight-up contract marriage, a desperate move to avoid deportation. Either way, that so-called contract gave him what he wanted, a green card. And that makes everything dangerous. Because if that marriage was fake, if it was only for immigration papers, then that is not just messy, that is federal crime messy. Immigration fraud. Prison time messy. Career-ending messy. And guess what? He eventually did get his green card. So the internet started connecting dots. Blind items whispered about a foreign-born rapper who kept his relationship with a one-named female rapper secret because he had married another woman for a visa. And fans? They already knew who that was. After that, 21 and Latto stopped hiding. They started getting sloppy, public vacations, subtle matching outfits, quiet flirting on socials. It was like 21 suddenly felt untouchable. Like he no longer needed Kiana. But he forgot one thing: you never betray someone who holds the key to your downfall. Because if Kiana turns on him, if she reports that marriage is a scam, ICE can reopen the case, revoke his green card, and send him right back to where he came from. And according to insiders, that is exactly what she is threatening to do. She allegedly told people that if he dumps her for Latto, she will report him for immigration fraud, claiming he tricked her into marriage just to stay in the country. And if that accusation sticks? It is over. Forget deportation. We are talking about humiliation. Federal charges. A career buried under scandal and shame. Imagine fighting your way back from an ICE arrest, just to have your own wife threaten to send you back into the same system you escaped. Sources say he has been walking on eggshells, terrified, torn between two worlds, trying to keep Kiana calm while juggling Latto's storm. But Kiana? She is not the type to cry quietly. Because according to multiple whispers, she sent a message, literally. Rumor says she had Latto jumped. A setup. A warning. A brutal reminder that this is not just Hollywood drama, this is real life. And Kiana? She is not some fragile housewife. She is a storm wrapped in silk, calm on the surface, chaos underneath. And everyone in Atlanta knows you do not play with her. Now, the internet is waiting for the next move. Will Latto double down and claim her man? Will 21 risk everything, his marriage, his freedom, his career, for the woman the world calls his side piece? Or will Kiana pull the final card and burn it all down? Because in this love triangle, there are no winners. Only survivors. For the longest time, Kiana Joseph was the quiet shadow behind one of the biggest rappers in the game. While other rappers' wives turned Instagram into a red carpet, posting private jets, designer bags, and his and hers luxury, Kiana stayed silent. No bragging. No flexing. No clues. Just silence. And that silence fooled everyone. People mistook it for weakness. They thought she was the calm, submissive type, the kind of woman who would quietly fade away once 21's relationship with Latto became public. They thought she would just bow out. But they forgot, silence is not always surrender. Sometimes, it is strategy. Because while Latto was busy rapping about being that girl, Kiana was calculating in the dark. No one realized that before she became the wife, Kiana ran the streets of Atlanta. She had connections, respect, and a quiet reputation that made people think twice before crossing her. She knew how power worked, not in boardrooms or interviews, but in whispers, in phone calls, in warnings that never made it to Instagram. So when word spread that Latto was pregnant with her husband's baby, the quiet woman everyone underestimated, snapped. And according to the streets, what happened next was not a catfight. It was a message. Witnesses claim that when Kiana confronted Latto, it was quick, cold, and brutal. There was no screaming, no wigs flying, no cameras rolling, just one woman teaching another a painful lesson in boundaries. Latto was reportedly left bruised, humiliated, and in shock. They say Kiana's hit was surgical, precise, efficient, almost professional. She came in, did what she came to do, and vanished before the story could be caught on tape. That was not anger. That was experience. And while Latto tried to hold her head high afterward, everyone could see the shift. The energy changed. The once confident, big-energy rapper started moving quieter, posting less, and smiling through the pain. Her pride had taken the biggest hit of all, because in this world, physical bruises fade, but public humiliation? That lingers. But while the streets praised Kiana for standing 10 toes down, 21 Savage reportedly was not impressed. Behind closed doors, insiders claim their home turned into a battlefield of tension and silence. Arguments echoing through walls. Children pretending not to hear. 21, the man known for staying calm even when chaos erupted around him, started breaking down, retreating to the guest room just to breathe. Imagine the scene, headphones on. Door closed. Kiana pacing the hallway like a storm in human form, plotting her next move. The air thick with resentment. The kids confused, watching their parents become strangers right before their eyes. At first, he probably thought he could handle it, play mediator between two women, keep both worlds from collapsing. But you cannot control fire when both sides are already burning. Kiana was not fighting for love anymore, she was fighting for power. And power was something she had plenty of. She had the legal papers. She had the marriage certificate. She had the secrets, and the leverage to use them. Every time 21 tried to pull away, she reminded him that one word from her could end his entire career, revoke his green card, and send him right back into the system he had fought to escape. Every single day. That is the kind of fear that eats a man alive, not the fear of jail, not the fear of violence, but the fear of losing everything you built. Meanwhile, Latto, the girl who thought she was walking into a love story, was standing in the crossfire of a war she did not even start. She thought she was getting a man. What she got instead was a married man's curse. A wife with a plan. A family in flames. And a love that could cost her her peace, her image, and maybe even her safety. Because unlike Latto, Kiana is not fighting for followers. She is fighting for legacy. And a woman fighting for her legacy has nothing left to lose. Sources close to 21 say his friends have been begging him to step back, to cut ties with both women, to disappear before the headlines destroy him. But he cannot. He is trapped in the middle of two hurricanes, one threatening to ruin his freedom, the other threatening to ruin his heart. If he leaves Kiana, she could call ICE and expose everything. If he leaves Latto, he loses the one person who makes him feel alive again. It is like watching a man drown in slow motion, the world watching, the media circling like vultures, every gossip blog waiting for the next headline. And now? Every time Kiana posts something cryptic, a song lyric, a quote about betrayal, fans rush to decode it. Every time Latto uploads a filtered photo, the comments explode with, "Is she hiding? Is she scared? Is this shade?" The internet can feel it. Something big is about to break. Because when silence turns to rage, and love turns to revenge, there is no telling how far someone like Kiana Joseph will go. By now, this is no longer just gossip, it is a crisis in motion. Behind the glitz and viral headlines, 21 Savage's world is collapsing from the inside out. The whispers say his team has already gone into full-blown damage control mode. Immigration attorneys, PR strategists, and crisis managers are on speed dial, holding late-night meetings, drafting statements, and calculating just how bad things could get if Kiana actually makes good on her threat. The stakes could not be higher, because if Kiana makes that call to ICE, everything burns. Some insiders are pushing him to go public first, to spin the story before Kiana does. Control the narrative, they say. But others warn that doing so would be suicide, that any public move could turn a scandal into a spectacle. So now, 21 is stuck in a dangerous limbo, a game of silence and timing where every wrong step could end his career, or his freedom. Meanwhile, Kiana has gone completely dark. No cryptic posts. No messy tweets. Just silence. But the people who know her say that is exactly what makes her dangerous. Because that quiet? It means she is working. Rumor has it, she is building her case, stacking screenshots, voice notes, cash receipts, even bank transfers. Anything that can prove her side of the story if she decides to go nuclear. She is not just angry, she is preparing for war. And she knows once she pulls that trigger, there will be no going back. Either she takes him down with her, or they both go down in flames. And in the middle of this deadly silence, Latto is barely holding it together. Sources say she is laying low, staying off the radar not out of choice, but out of fear. Her team is trying to patch her up, covering the bruises, dodging interviews, and carefully crafting an illusion of normalcy. On camera, she looks fine. But behind the scenes, she is terrified. Because Kiana's silence feels like a storm waiting to strike again. The industry knows it too. No one is saying it publicly, but behind closed doors, every label exec, every PR agent, and every artist whispering in private group chats knows that this situation could ruin all three of them. And then there is the rumor, the one that sent everyone's jaw to the floor. They say 21 has been making exit plans. Whispering to old contacts in London. Trying to secure a way out, quietly, before everything blows. Some say he wants to leave the country altogether. Others claim he is just trying to survive until Latto gives birth, hoping maybe things will calm down once the baby arrives. But those who know Kiana say that is pure fantasy. Because once a woman like her feels betrayed, there is no cooling down. There is only destruction. Slow, calculated, personal. That is what makes this entire story tragic. It is not about music anymore. It is not even about love. It is about power, fear, and regret. 21 is learning that fame cannot buy forgiveness. Kiana is proving that silence is not weakness, it is the pause before the kill. And Latto? She is learning the hardest truth of all, that love with a married man is never love, it is a transaction. And every transaction eventually demands payment. 3 lives. 3 choices. And no clean way out. But just when people thought things could not get any messier, they did. Because insiders now say 21 finally snapped. He allegedly told Kiana that if she did not apologize to Latto for the attack, he would leave her for good. And that is wild. Because of all people, Kiana holds every card. All she needs to do is make a 30-second phone call, and 21 Savage could be on a plane back to the UK faster than his own lyrics could save him. And ICE? They are not about to give him VIP treatment. No private jets, no first class, no fame. Just a cramped seat in economy, surrounded by the same people he once rapped about leaving behind. So you would think he would tread carefully, right? But instead, he is raging, defending Latto, the same woman who allegedly jumped his other side chick just months ago. Yes, you heard that right. This is not the first time violence followed him. Back then, a woman named Gorgeous Doll, an exotic dancer who claimed she was secretly seeing 21, said that Latto had her attacked outside a club. The reason? Jealousy. And here is the sick twist, Gorgeous Doll was pregnant. She claimed the assault caused her to lose the baby. The story hit social media like a bomb, and instead of denying it, Latto allegedly bragged about it. It all came out because of a completely different TikTok drama. A random lash tech who was beefing with Latto accidentally name-dropped her during a rant. The internet went into chaos, comments exploded, and in her attempt to defend herself, Latto clapped back online, only to expose way more than she intended. Who you describing? Because it's not me. That one comment set the timeline on fire. And that is when everyone realized, this situation has been toxic for a long time. Latto's not just caught in drama. She creates it. Kiana's not just angry. She plans. And 21? He is the common thread that ties every tragedy together. Now, the clock is ticking. The lawyers are whispering. The fans are watching. And the whole world is waiting to see which one of them breaks first, the rapper, the wife, or the woman who thought she could take her place. Because when secrets, violence, and revenge collide, someone always ends up paying the price. And then, the internet snapped.